Okay, stop what you're doing. Because in the past 48 hours, Hollywood has been serving up some tea so hot, you might actually need oven mitts to handle it. We've got two A-list situations unfolding at the exact same time, and they both have fans completely spiraling. On one side, Hailey Bieber, yes, Mrs. Bieber herself, is reportedly at her limit with Justin, and the whispers about what's been going on behind the scenes are way more intense than anyone expected. We're talking late-night fights, cryptic social media moves, and insiders hinting at things they've never seen from Hailey before. And if you think this is just another silly tabloid headline, think again, because the way these rumors started and who's been fueling them is sending shockwaves through the fandom. Meanwhile, across the pop culture battlefield, we've got Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet. The couple that shocked everyone when they went public is now facing their first serious round of breakup rumors, and apparently, it's not just about them. Nope. Word is, some very influential family voices might have stepped in, and let's just say, not everyone was rooting for this love story from the start. The sudden shift in how they're being seen together, or should I say, not being seen, has people wondering if this is the beginning of the end. And honestly, the timeline is almost too suspicious. So here's the thing, these aren't just two random pieces of gossip floating around on Twitter. These are carefully timed leaks, strategically vague statements, and photos that may or may not be saying a lot more than they seem on the surface. We're going to break down exactly what's been happening, why fans are convinced both relationships are on the rocks, and how these stories might actually be connected in a way no one's talking about yet. Let's start with the Biebers, because this one has been brewing for weeks, but just exploded in the past couple of days. First, there was that one public appearance where Justin, well, let's just say he didn't look thrilled to be there. And fans caught everything. The body language, the quick glances, even the way they left the event, it all became instant TikTok analysis material. Then Hailey's sudden decision to post something that, depending on how you read it, could either be a totally innocent quote or a direct response to whatever's been happening in their marriage. And the crazy part? Some of the people closest to them have been liking and unliking certain posts that only fuel the drama. But while everyone was still trying to figure out what was going on with Hailey and Justin, the Kylie and Timothee story started picking up speed. Now remember, just a few months ago they were practically Hollywood's new it couple. Cozy at award shows, spotted at events, the kind of relationship people didn't see coming, but suddenly couldn't stop watching. But recently, not only have they been missing from each other's social feeds, but there are these little signs, the unfollows, the solo appearances, the way Kylie's been photographed without any hint of Timothee's world around her, that are starting to add up. And then comes the kicker, the claim that certain family members never approved in the first place. Which, if you know the Kardashian-Jenner playbook, is never just a small detail. Now, why is all of this hitting the news cycle at the same time? Is it pure coincidence? Or is something else going on behind the scenes? There are already theories that both of these relationship trouble leaks are part of bigger PR moves. Whether that's to distract from something else, set up a major public appearance, or even pave the way for some kind of rebranding. And if that sounds far-fetched, just remember, in celebrity land, nothing gets out unless someone wants it out. Over the next few minutes, we're going to unpack the timeline, the subtle signs, and the things that might not seem connected until you put them next to each other. Because while these are two very different couples, the way these stories are being rolled out is almost identical, and that's either the wildest coincidence ever or a sign that Hollywood's drama machine is working overtime right now. So, grab your coffee, your matcha, whatever you need, because by the end of this, you're either going to think the celebrity gossip world just had the juiciest week ever, or you're going to believe there's a much bigger game being played than any of us realized. Let's get into it. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It is free and help us bring you enjoyable content. And of course, watch till the end. So imagine this, you're scrolling through your feed, everything is quiet on the Bieber front, no cryptic Instagram captions, no unnamed sources, dropping shady little quotes, and you're thinking, wow, maybe the sage worked, maybe the vibes are peaceful. Maybe for once Hollywood's favorite young married couple is just living their best, low-drama life. But then, boom, a new article drops, claiming that Hailey has been the stable parent while raising their 10-month-old son Jack with a loose cannon, Justin, who's allegedly going through a tough time emotionally. And instantly, your mind goes, wait, what? Is this a real thing? Is this just clickbait? And most importantly, what does loose cannon even mean in 2025? Like, are we talking wild, spontaneous trips to Miami at 3 a.m., or just forgetting to put the oat milk back in the fridge? The report says she's worried about him, that it's been a while since he's been this down, and that his friend group has shifted. And while two insiders allegedly insist divorce is not even in the conversation, you can't help but picture that emotional strain that comes when your partner is in a different headspace than you. Now here's where it gets interesting, because beyond the celebrity glitter and million-dollar homes, this is so relatable. Anyone who's been in a relationship knows that there are seasons where one person ends up carrying more emotional weight than the other. Maybe you're the one keeping the house clean, planning the groceries, making sure bills are paid while your partner is in there "I'm trying to figure myself out" era. Maybe you've been the one who feels like you have to keep it together because if you also fall apart, there's no safety net. And this isn't about blame. It's about the reality that relationships aren't 50-50 every single day. Sometimes they're 80-20, sometimes 20-80, and sometimes it's just you holding the umbrella in a storm hoping your partner catches up. So when I read that Hailey's allegedly being the stable parent and making room for Justin to get back on track, I think, wow, that's not just a headline, that's a masterclass in emotional labor. But here's the kicker. Emotional labor is invisible until it's too much. It's like carrying groceries from the car. 1 bag is fine, 2 is doable, but if someone keeps handing you bags and never takes any themselves, eventually your arms give out. And you can love them to the moon and back, but you'll still feel that ache. And here's where we need to pause for a second and really peel back the layers, because this isn't just a celebrity couple rumor, it's an entry point into talking about the invisible work that so many people, mostly women, but not exclusively, end up doing in relationships. The cooking, the scheduling, the smoothing over of conflicts, the gentle reminders, hey babe, maybe don't text your boss at midnight about how much you hate meetings, the strategic patience. The stuff that doesn't get Instagram posts but keeps the ship afloat. And if we're being honest, it's exhausting. So how do you keep a relationship balanced when one person is going through something hard? How do you offer support without enabling bad habits? How do you set boundaries without making it feel like you're abandoning them? Well, friend, that's where we're going in this article. We're going to keep sipping this Bieber tea, but every sip is going to have a little self-reflection shot in it, so by the time we're done, you'll not only know all the spicy details the internet's whispering about, but you'll also have a mini relationship toolkit for when life hands you your own loose cannon moment. But before we get to the solutions, we need to talk about why even stable relationships can feel shaky when one person's energy changes. Because trust me, this is where it gets good. Well, listen, best friend, you know how sometimes life just gets too quiet? Like when you've had weeks without a single piece of messy celebrity gossip, your TikTok FYP is just cooking videos and cleaning hacks, and you start to wonder, is peace boring? That's where we were on the Bieber front. No rumors, no cryptic unfollows, no mysterious paparazzi shots of Justin walking with his hood up looking like he's about to drop a diss track about climate change. Things were calm, and I was over here like, yes, the sage is working, girl. The energy is clear, the vibes are pure, we can finally rest. And then boom. Out of nowhere, a new article drops, claiming Hailey Bieber has basically been the glue holding their family together, while Justin has been a loose cannon lately. Allegedly. The report says she's been the stable parent to their 10-month-old son Jack, while Justin navigates some personal challenges, shifting friendships, and the impossible juggling act of fatherhood, music, and, well, being Justin Bieber. Now before we dive into this, let's just pause and give the tea a little stir. Because loose cannon could mean so many things. Is he spontaneously buying farm animals for their backyard? Is he staying up till 4 a.m. trying to learn glassblowing because he saw one satisfying TikTok? Or are we talking about deeper emotional stuff, the kind that makes you retreat, get moody, and stop texting people back? The article claims Hailey is worried that it's been a while since he's been this down, and that although they're not talking divorce, she's definitely carrying more of the emotional weight right now. And you know what? Underneath the fame, this is so relatable. Because every relationship, and I mean every relationship, goes through these imbalanced seasons. Sometimes you're both skipping through life, high-fiving over little victories, making pancakes on Sunday mornings. And sometimes, one of you is carrying the groceries, the baby, the laundry, and the emotional stability for two. That's not a Hollywood problem. That's a human problem. But here's the difference. When you're in the public eye, every little shift gets magnified. For most of us, if your partner starts pulling away emotionally or acting out of character, it's between you, them, and maybe your group chat. For someone like Hailey, it's between her, Justin, their inner circle, and every gossip outlet that can smell a headline from 10 miles away. And let me tell you, that adds a layer of pressure most of us can't even imagine. So why does this matter to you, best friend? Because relationships aren't always perfectly balanced. We like to imagine they are. That magical 50-50 split where both people put in equal effort every single day. But in reality, relationships are more like a seesaw. Some days you're up, some days you're down, and sometimes one person has to lean a little harder to keep the thing from tipping over completely. And in seasons where your partner is struggling, whether it's with mental health, career stress, or just a general, what am I even doing with my life? Funk, you end up being the stable one. The planner. The smoother over of rough edges. The keeper of the calendar. And while that's not a bad thing in the short term, it is exhausting if it goes on for too long without acknowledgement or reciprocity. Now, reading about Hailey allegedly being this rock for Justin makes me think about emotional labor, the kind you can't post on Instagram, the kind that doesn't get claps or likes, but the kind that keeps relationships from falling apart. We're talking about remembering to buy the milk, but also remembering to ask, hey, how was that meeting you were nervous about? It's being the one who knows when to give space and when to say, nope, I'm not letting you sit in the dark all day. And it's often invisible until it's too heavy to carry. And when it gets too heavy, that's when resentment creeps in. Now, before anyone clutches their pearls, I'm not saying Hailey is resentful or that Justin is oblivious. We don't know their private dynamics, and honestly, we shouldn't pretend we do. But if we use this moment as a case study, there's a bigger takeaway. Healthy relationships require rotation. There will be seasons where you're the strong one, seasons where they're the strong one, and ideally, seasons where you're both able to breathe a little and just coast. The danger comes when one person stays in this strong one role for too long, because that's not a partnership anymore. That's a caretaker relationship. And unless that's what you both signed up for, it can quietly erode intimacy. So how do you keep the seesaw balanced? First, you talk about it, even when it's awkward. Especially when it's awkward. If you've been in a stable parent role for months, you need to say it out loud. Not in a blaming way, but in a, hey, I'm starting to feel really tired and I need some support too way. Second, you set boundaries because love doesn't mean carrying everything. If your partner is going through a hard time, you can support them without letting their storm completely flood your life. And third, you remember that your needs matter too. It's not selfish to want rest. It's not selfish to want joy. Now, looping back to the Biebers, whether or not every detail in that article is true, what's undeniable is that they're navigating something. And for a young couple under intense public scrutiny, with a new baby, that's a lot. But they're not alone in that. Thousands of couples are quietly going through similar seasons right now, minus the paparazzi and multi-million-dollar homes. And if there's one thing I hope you take from this, it's that love is not just about the high moments. It's about how you handle the lows. It's about knowing that being the stable parent is an act of love, but also knowing when to pass the torch back so you don't burn out completely. In another news. But listen, we need to talk. And not in that vague, we should grab coffee sometime way. I mean the kind of talk where you drop your phone mid-scroll, gasp so loud your neighbor's dog barks, and immediately text your group chat, "Did you see this?" Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet, two names you never thought you'd say in the same sentence unless you were listing random celebrity Mad Libs, are raising eyebrows again. Rumors, whispers, unverified sources with suspiciously strong opinions. And me? I had to go digging. Not because I'm nosy, okay? Maybe a little, but because when pop culture throws you a curveball, you don't duck. You grab a camera, a coffee, and a conspiracy board. Now, before we get too deep into whether Kylie and Timmy are blissfully in love, consciously uncoupling, or just both too busy for dinner dates, let's talk about why these celebrity relationship rumors hit us like a triple shot of espresso. It's not just the gossip, it's the theater of it all. The Instagram unfollows, the cryptic captions, the accidental pap shots where someone somehow manages to look both surprised and editorial ready. These moments aren't just fleeting headlines, they're serialized dramas we binge in real time. Celebrity rumors are like that one bag of chips you open thinking you'll just have a few, and suddenly you're elbow deep wondering where your self-control went. They start small. A blurry photo, a friend of a friend's insider tip, an anonymous Reddit post typed suspiciously like a publicist with a burner account, and then spiral. By the time the story hits the mainstream, it's no longer about if something is true, but how much you're willing to believe. Take Kylie and Timothee. The whisper started with "Did you see them together?" and quickly morphed into "Here's a 24-slide TikTok analyzing their every move." And this is the thing. In the age of social media, rumors aren't just consumed, they're co-created. Every like, share, and snarky comment is a tiny contribution to the narrative. But why do we care so much? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Celebrity gossip scratches the same itch as high school drama, except no one's actually mad at you for it. It's communal storytelling with a sprinkle of schadenfreude, a dash of aspiration, and a whole lot of "can you believe" energy. And if you think Kylie and Timmy's situation is unique, oh honey, we're just getting started, because this is part of a long, glittery, scandal-filled tradition of Hollywood couples who captivated the masses, for better or for PR. Every era has its golden duo. In the 50s, it was Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, a love story so intense they got married, divorced, and remarried like it was a seasonal trend. The 90s gave us Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston, the perfect prom king and queen until Angelina Jolie rewrote the script. And now, our feeds are full of Zendaya and Tom Holland, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, and yes, Kylie and Timothee. Why does Hollywood love a power couple? Simple, attention is currency. Studios, brands, and media outlets know that pairing two high-profile names doubles the publicity potential. Your movie's coming out? Perfect time to start being seen with someone equally famous. Got a new makeup line? Nothing sells lipstick like a paparazzi kiss in Paris. Of course, not every relationship is manufactured. But even the real ones benefit from the machinery of celebrity culture. The more we see them, the more we feel like we know them, and the more invested we become in their story arcs. But with every fairy tale narrative comes the shadow side, the moment the press decides the honeymoon is over. And that's when the breakup rumors start swirling like confetti in a wind tunnel. You've seen it happen. One missed red carpet appearance. One slightly less enthusiastic Instagram caption. One anonymous, close source, whispering to a tabloid. Suddenly, the internet is convinced the couple is over, and they're dissecting every crumb of evidence like they're training for a CSI spin-off. Kylie and Timmy's recent breakup rumors followed this exact pattern. He's filming in Prague for Dune 3, working 18-hour days. She's in the US running her businesses and parenting. Logical explanation? Sure. But logic doesn't trend, speculation does. And the speculation isn't just harmless fun. Public narratives can genuinely affect careers. For Timothee, insiders allegedly worried Kylie's presence at certain events made him look like a +1 instead of the star. For Kylie, too much visibility in a romance can distract from her brand control. Which brings us to the question no one really wants to ask out loud. Are celebrity relationships ever just about love? Or is there always a little bit of strategy baked in? Hollywood insiders will tell you there's no such thing as coincidence when it comes to a paparazzi photo. That spontaneous stroll through Soho in perfectly coordinated outfits? Probably scheduled. That front row appearance at Fashion Week? Definitely intentional. Some couples are rumored to be pure PR, formed to boost careers, promote projects, or distract from scandals. Others are real but strategically managed to maximize press coverage. It's a sliding scale between genuine connection and mutual benefit. Remember Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes? That relationship was so choreographed it felt like an awards show performance. Compare that to Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, who managed to keep their relationship relatively private while still giving us just enough playful social media banter to stay in our good graces. But here's where things get spicy, because whether PR or real, the fans have taken over the role of detective, and they're changing the game entirely. Gone are the days when celebrity gossip lived and died in glossy magazines. Now, TikTok and Instagram users will zoom in on sunglasses reflections, match hotel carpet patterns, and cross-reference Instagram stories to figure out who's dating who. Kylie and Timmy's fans have done everything from comparing their jewelry to analyzing the timing of their posts. And once the fandom latches onto a theory, it snowballs fast. A blurry airport pic becomes confirmation. An old interview becomes foreshadowing. This level of scrutiny means celebrities can't control their own narratives like they used to. The public is no longer just the audience, they're active participants in the plot. And when you mix that level of obsession with the pressures of fame, the human cost gets real, fast. It's easy to forget that behind the headlines are actual humans trying to have relationships under a microscope. Imagine every fight you've ever had with a partner. Now imagine strangers dissecting it, making memes about it, and assigning blame. For younger stars like Timothee, the constant buzz can be exhausting. For established figures like Kylie, it can become a branding headache. The stakes are high because the audience is global, the receipts are permanent, and the judgments are instant. So where does that leave us, the ever-hungry gossip consumers? Can we enjoy the drama without crossing the line? Here's the thing. Gossip is fun. It's bonding. It's entertainment. But it also comes with responsibility. Supporting someone's work is different from speculating about their personal life. There's a balance between being curious and being invasive. We can acknowledge the humanity of celebrities while still indulging in the spectacle, as long as we remember there's a difference between public persona and private reality. So, did Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet break up? Probably not. The evidence points to two busy people living in different time zones while chasing equally demanding careers. The rumors? Just part of the cycle. The truth is, whether they're together forever or just for a chapter, they've already secured their spot in pop culture's ever-updating scrapbook of couples we can't stop talking about. And that, my friends, is the magic and madness of celebrity relationships. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Are Kylie and Timmy the real deal, a PR pairing, or just two people caught in the world's nosiest group chat? Spill your theory in the comments, because if pop culture has taught us anything, it's that the story is never really over. It's just waiting for the next update.